If you're building a blog nowadays, one way of boosting interactivity is by adding one of these progress bars at the top of your blog to show your reader how far along they are. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to do this in Next.js, but you can use the same principle regardless of which front-end framework you are working with. I'm here in my Next.js project, and I'm going to start by creating a new file called progresstracker.tsx. Then I will use the useClient directive because this code does not need to run on the server. I need to import a couple of things from React, so I will import useEffect and then also useState because this component is going to need some local state. I will then export a default function that I will name progresstracker. And after that, I will start by just defining some empty HTML here. I then need the state. So I define progress and set progress, which I will initialize to 0. And after that comes the effect. So in this effect, which is only going to run once, I will need a function, which I will name calculate progress. And this is where all the logic is going to happen. So I will start by defining a variable called scrolled, which will equal window.scrollY. I need a variable called total scroll height, which is going to equal document.document_element.scroll_height. And I will then subtract document.document_element.client_height. Now, the client height of a document is the part of a document that a user can currently see without scrolling, whereas the scroll height of a document is everything that the user can see plus everything that the user cannot yet see without scrolling. Once we have calculated the total scroll height, we can now calculate the percentage of the page that the user has currently scrolled. We do this by dividing scrolled through total scroll height and multiply it by 100. Then we can set our progress to this percentage that we have just calculated. Before we go ahead and adjust our HTML, we need to add an event listener where on every scroll event in the window, we are going to run this callback, the calculate progress callback. And in order to avoid memory leaks, we need to do one more thing here, which is that we need to return a function from our effect where we remove this event listener on every scroll event and we remove this calculate progress. Last but not least, here in our new component, we want to define a progress element, which will get a new class name because we need to add some styles to this later. It will receive a value of progress and we will set max to 100. Now, before we run this code, I will need to write some styles for this progress bar. So I will begin this by defining a primary color variable, which I will set to purple. I will glue this progress bar to the very top of the page by using position fixed together with top 0 and left 0. I'll need a z index of 10 and a width of 100% to make it take up the full screen. I will then set height to 0.25 rems, a background color of transparent, and a color of the primary color variable. Now, as a very last thing, I will need to define some vendor prefixes to make the progress bar look smooth on different browsers. And that is it, you guys. If I now import this progress bar into my layout and start scrolling my page, you can see that it is working perfectly. I can scroll forward and backward and all the way down. And if you like what you see in this blog is actually available to you as a boilerplate. It ships with a what you see is what you get editor, so you can add some code blocks and inline code, iframes, YouTube videos, and much, much more. I will also leave a discount code for this in the description. If you like what you saw, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.